Terry Flanagan retains his WBO World Lightweight title with a 12-round unanimous decision over Derry Matthews. This fight never really caught fire. It was kind of teetering on the edge of catching fire a few times, but it never really got there. Flanagan started positively. He was on the front foot. He was trying to make the fight. Matthews looked like he was just waiting for the opportunity to land a counter right hand, but it never really came. And it was, in my opinion, pretty much Terry Flanagan's fight through the first half of the fight. It wasn't until the mid-rounds where I felt Matthews started having a bit more success, and he was landing his right hand a few times, and he managed to back Flanagan up for a brief period. But then Flanagan managed to get on top again and outbox Matthews, particularly in the final quarter of the fight, quite easily, really. But one thing I have to say about Flanagan is that he was quite dirty in this fight. Let's not get it confused. He was pushing Matthews' head down repeatedly. He was pretty rough on the inside in the clinches, pushing Matthews' head down. There was forearms in Matthews' face. He was pushing the inside of his glove into Matthews' face. He was punching low, which he eventually did have a point deducted for. So, you know, Terry Flanagan was pretty rough in there, pretty dirty in this fight. I mean, it wasn't Roberto Duran level dirty or Bernard Hopkins, but it was pretty dirty. And sometimes fighters do that to try and get a psychological edge, to try and dominate their opponent. They'll use dirty tactics to try and bully them. And sometimes that can work. Sometimes the opponent can feel as though they're being victimized, and they can start feeling a little bit sorry for themselves when their opponent is using all these dirty tactics and roughing them up and all that kind of stuff. Did it work in this fight? I would have thought that Derry Matthews is a bit too experienced to be intimidated by stuff like that. But nonetheless, I guess it helped Flanagan, because he kept on consistently doing it until he felt that Derry Matthews was sufficiently weakening or sufficiently wilting in terms of his tactics and maybe his stamina. So it is what it is. End of the day, Terry Flanagan won fair and square. Can't argue with the decision. But future opponents are going to have to look at that in terms of his dirty fighting, and maybe talk to the officials beforehand and make sure that they calm down a lot harder on him. Because I felt like the referee, obviously, he didn't want to spoil the fight, but he was quite lenient on Flanagan, I felt, because Flanagan was just, like I say, committing a lot of fouls in there. But whatever the case may be, he wins the fight decisively, retains his WBO lightweight world title. Who would you like to see Terry Flanagan fight next? There's obviously a whole heap of unification possibilities out there. Let me know who you would like to see him up against. And there's also some domestic rivalry. So let me know in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.